Today has been the best that air quality has been in like a week and a half. I am in the northern Midwest and we have been struggling very bad with our air quality because not only have we been dealing with wildfire smoke from Canada, but we've also been dealing with some wildfire smoke that's been happening in like very northern Minnesota. So like all of that is just getting like blown down like all throughout like the Midwest right now, and even like hitting like parts of northeast coast, especially in the New England area. But even just yesterday the air quality was not super great, so today is feeling a lot better. My reading for this month has not been super great. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a lot of duds. It's like summer ween season, so I've been reading a lot of horror stories, and if not like horror stories, just like at least gothic type of things, stuff that just gives you the sort of summer Halloween type of vibe. And while I won't give a super in-depth review because I'm already on my fourth book of the month and it's only July 21st right now, I'm gonna at least give a quick little rundown. Did not like Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. So sorry, I was not a big fan of that one at all. I felt like a lot of the emotional trauma as well as some of the processing of the emotions happened way too early on in the book. And while that's not always necessarily a bad thing, I don't think it was handled super well in this novel, because then the handling of that trauma was basically for the main character to be cycling through their internal emotions like over and over again. It was like the use of like all of the same phrases, all of the same thought processes, and it just got to a point that I found it to be very emotionally exhausting and just like not fun to read. I also read Strange Houses by Uketsu. I've reviewed Strange Pictures on here before, and I did talk about how I think that the writing is not very good. It reads very much like creepypasta. And again, it makes sense because the author of the book is a YouTuber. That's how they become well known, is because of their horror storytelling on YouTube. But I will say the inexperience of the writing in a book very felt to me. It was definitely a bit juvenile, but I'm someone that still really likes a lot of internet horror. Like, I grew up on it. But Strange Pictures was just in general, it was a more well done story. That's what I'm trying to say. I keep stumbling on my words, but that's what it is. I finished Victorian Psycho, which I didn't love it, didn't hate it either. Kind of sits like strangely in the middle for me. I think that it was a very fun story. I think that it had all of the elements to naughty bad girl main protagonist that's kind of evil. Like, it just had everything that I would normally love, and yet there was just something in the writing I had trouble connecting to. And I don't really know what it is. It's something that I'm still trying to process, and but it doesn't seem like I'm alone in that. It kind of seems like a handful of people felt like there was just something in it they couldn't quite put their finger on. Like, I found myself experiencing these moments where I would read like multiple paragraphs at a time and then realize that I wasn't digesting anything, and then I would have to constantly go back and like reread it. Like, there was just something about it that was not grabbing and holding my attention. And yes, I finished East of Eden by John Steinbeck. This made me so emotional when I was done finishing it. Very incredible storytelling. I loved the retelling of the Book of Genesis. I love the retelling of Cain and Abel. It's all about like nature versus nurture and growing outside of the things that are expected of you. It's a slower read, but it was incredible. I will say I did almost DNF the book early on because the racism in this book is not easy to deal with. And again, like, it serves a purpose in the sense that the story is about expanding what people expect of you and being able to grow outside of societal expectation. Not to mention, this book is like set in the late 1800s, early 1900s, literally as like California is first being established. So with that in mind, I think you got to decide for yourself if that's something you want to sit through, because it's not easy. And I don't blame anybody that DNFs a book because they feel like it's too much, or if they even don't even want to bother with it at all. Like, I really don't blame you. I almost didn't finish the book, but I will say that I'm glad that I didn't, because I think that he had a lot of really interesting things to say and process and analyze and critique. And then now I'm reading Butter by Asako Yuzuki. Enjoying it so far. I'm a little bit shocked that it is hitting kind of in the 450 page range. I feel like the content that I'm experiencing so far in the book, I don't know if it needed 450 pages of exploration and writing. But I am enjoying it. Like, I'm interested to see where it goes. I feel like this little blurb right here, I don't know if it's going to show up, but it says a novel of food and murder. And I do feel like that makes it sound like the book is going to be some sort of thriller or maybe a horror book, like some sort of mystery, but it's really not. Like, this is, as I'm reading it, I'm realizing this is literary fiction. Sometimes I just wish publishing companies did not do stuff like that, because I think that it makes things confusing for people when they go to buy it. Later this week, I will need to start reading Toni Morrison's Beloved, because I am going to be having a book club on it in a couple weeks. And any books that I do for book club, I like to take my time. I want to annotate. I want to highlight things. I want to take notes. So I really need to start that later this week. So I will probably be reading that in tandem with this one. And a little bit here, my partner should be getting home from work, and we are going to be grilling some rot. We are going to enjoy the outdoors, which I'm very excited about. I want to sit outside. Well, LOL. So testing the paint was a little bit of a dud. To be fair, I was mostly just testing it just to see if I even liked the paints colors that I picked. And so far I do. I love that sort of like reddish brown color, and it is good to know that the white paint for the stamp is going to show up on top of it. But it is kind of funny that the stamp itself didn't really work out. That was just one I've been having like sitting in my collection, like for my journaling stuff. My partner and I were talking about it, and he was saying, well, maybe it's just a little too detailed. I'm either going to make my own stamp stamp, like carving it out of like like those stamp kits, or I'm going to just pick out something that has way less detail. Either way, it's probably going to be like at least like 2 weeks before I actually start painting. So I have time to look around, look up tips, go shopping and get an idea of like what I gotta do. But I can't wait. I'm excited to do a little bit of a makeover. And if I haven't said yet, which I don't think I did, I'm doing a little bit of a makeover for my hallway. Change up some lighting, put up some artwork, paint. I think it's gonna be really fun. All right, we will see if I can get myself fully in the frame. I don't know. Hopefully it'll work, but this is the outfit for today. I don't think the socks probably work super great with this outfit, but I also kind of don't care because I gotta wear socks with these shoes. Otherwise, it's not comfortable. I have to. All right, I'm just squatting at this point. Who cares? It's a beautiful day out. I really want to go to a coffee shop. And then I have like a bunch of errands and stuff that I have to run anyway. So after I go to this coffee shop, I'm going to go to Menards and I'm going to take another look at the paint because I think I'm going to actually take a different approach to the painting in the hallway, which I'll talk about later. I got to go to Staples and check out the pens, see if there's something there that I like. I need to run to Michael's so that I can get some like jewelry stuff, which I will be doing later. And then there's this really cute little oddity shop that I want to check out. I don't know if I'm going to get anything yet or if I'm going to find anything that I even want, but at the very least, I want to go and I want to check it out. But for now, I am pretty hungry because I haven't eaten yet and I really need some coffee and I really just want to chill out and enjoy the day. Let's go through a couple of things that I got because I ended up having a pretty good errand day. So I grabbed these paint swatches to see what I thought maybe I would like to see with that red color. My new plan is that I think I'm going to do like a white and one of these color stripes, and then on the white stripes is where I'm going to do this stamp. At first my original idea was to do flowers, but I saw this moth stamp and I think it's going to be really pretty. There's also the smaller one down here if I decide, hey, maybe this other one is a little bit too big. And then in the end, if I want to go back to the flower idea, there's a really cute little tulip looking stamp here. I really do like the idea of having like a dark painted hallway and having it be really moody. The only problem is that whenever I look up like dark moody hallways, a lot of people do things where they like change out the doors and they change out the trim, and that's not really in the budget of what I can really do right now. I'm really just able to do some painting and then buy some like frames or any shelves that I might not have, and maybe someday I might be interested in doing something like that. But home renovations and doing makeovers are honestly pretty pricey, and I have to just take what I can get, and painting is honestly just where I wanted to go. But that will be a future vlog, okay? So hopefully you guys like that video. Keep an eye out for it. That will be coming. As for my journaling pens, I restocked my, what is this? The Uniball Jetstream. This is one of my favorite pens I think I have ever use. These are really great for long journaling sessions. I think that the rollerball style honestly is a little bit underrated. I think a lot of people like to use like gel, things like that. And honestly, I have been using gel, I feel like, since late high school, early college, and I haven't really gone back to like classic rollerball pens. And it's not gel ink. I don't know how to describe The ink, it's just kind of like your really typical rollerball ink that you would ever run into. And then I did get just like a fancier pen, and this is the Lamy Safari. Okay, I just looked at the pronunciation. I nailed it. I have a Lamy left-handed fountain pen that has been so much fun to write with. However, I did not know that fountain pen inks ran out so fast, and I do want to make sure that I get refills soon because it's my first fountain pen and I have been really enjoying it. And there's not a lot of left-handed fountain pens on the market, but I liked it so much. And then I saw that they did like a classic little rollerball style, again, just like, you know, that style. Really smooth, really nice. I love the quality of this so much. It's gliding very nicely. I've already really enjoyed using it. As for the oddity shop, I ended up not filming anything from it. I understand that there's kind of like not a unified approach to like what is ethical and like what isn't in terms of oddities, but I did feel uncomfortable by the fact that this shop just never mentioned how they really got their stuff, and I sort of felt like they maybe had a hold of things that I don't know if they really should have had a hold of. I could be wrong, so I didn't get anything from the shop. I even tried to look up on their website and I couldn't find anything. It was not something that they really talked about, and it was not something I saw in reviews from people who have shopped there either. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. Now let me show you my ridiculous find. I don't know if it's all that ridiculous, but you know, I think it's not what I was trying to buy, but I got something. I found an empty film reel that is ginormous. Look at this shit. Oh, how cool is this? I'm going to hang this on the wall somewhere in my living room because I have a lot of wall space. I actually am probably going to be putting it somewhere by my staircase. We'll see, but I was really excited to see something like this, and it's massive, and I think it's really cool, and it felt like a really special find. So shout out Antique Mall for this one. And then over the weekend, I saw The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's new film. It was all right. I don't think I am the target audience for it. I think that Christopher Nolan is very talented at the spectacle, and I think that the practical effects and the passion for just wanting to make very human and very good art, I think shows through his movie, especially this one. Like, even though I ended up not really liking it, just I'm getting so many videos on YouTube and also on my TikTok feed talking about how just like all the effort that he put into like all of the puppetry, the fighting scenes, the boat scenes. Like, it's genuinely so impressive, and it's something that every time I watch older movies, I'm always like yearning for people to be doing practical effects and filming on site and things like that, you know? It's always my biggest gripe when I watch newer movies and I already think it looks cheesy because the CGI wasn't very good. So in terms of just like creating art, I appreciate that movie for everything that it was trying to do. It's just I felt that emotionally, which is always what's really important to me, I'm an emotional person, this felt empty. Just a lot of weird stuff where there were so many cuts. I'm telling you, there were so many times I thought there were beautiful shots and we barely sat still and held on to them so we could appreciate it. Everything was just done super fast, including anything that was more heartbreaking and a little like just meant to trigger like those deeper, sadder emotions, but they would be done and over with so fast, to the point where I feel like I couldn't actually be emotionally invested in anything that I should have been sad at. I should have been crying. Such a star-studded cast as well, and on it was just so unneeded. I was very frustrated by that. I think, first of all, if your gripe with this movie in any way has to deal in racism, like you think that Lupita should not been Helen of Troy, this is not a conversation for you and I to have, because I heavily disagree with you. This is more about the fact that we had a lot of talented actors in this movie, very star-studded, a lot of blockbuster experience, and yet most of them barely were on screen. And I really do wish that they would have used just some new actors. You know, I wish that they would have taken a chance on maybe some new guys. Mia Goth's character, that did that need to be a star? You know, like she had like 3 lines. Anyway, you're getting the point. I didn't like it. I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. Enjoyed the spectacle. Enjoyed the passion for creativity and creating art. And nothing else I connected with, and I'm so sorry. But I do understand why everybody really liked this movie, and I wish that I could like it as much as other people did too, because I get it. I understand why everyone is having a moment with this movie. So unfortunately, I did what I needed to do at Michael's, but one thing I did forget is that I need some more jumper rings for completing this crystal necklace. This is onyx, and I love this really pretty swirly metal design that the person made. So I'm trying to turn it into a necklace because I have the hardware, but I don't have the jumper rings, and I unfortunately need some. So I do need to get my booty back out to Michael's already so that I can go get that. But let's go and do that.